you Mr. Gilbert Whelan. Gilbert had been to Vietnam a long time before. However, he's back to the USA and just landed yesterday. Well, Gilbert will tell you about Ho Chi Minh City brand, the new perfect choice for the international mice market in ASEAN.
Good afternoon, and well, Xin Chao. Unfortunately, that's about the extent of my Vietnamese. I'd like to thank Mr. Khan and the Department of Culture, Sport and Tourism here in Taiwan for allowing me to come down here and talk to you about a subject that is very dear to me because I've been in the mice business actually before it was called mice. But when I started in the business with Qantas Airways as the Director of Incentive and Convention Travel, so MICE was not invented until sometime in the 90s. But and one of the problems with getting older means I've got to change glasses all the time. MICE is 4 very distinct, very different marketing and marketing strategies and clientele. Meetings, incentives, conventions and events. Some people say exhibitions. When we're talking about the various different markets, meetings, conventions, and events, the first criterion that we're looking at is venue. Can your venue handle our 100 in classroom or theatre style? Do you have the right equipment? Do you have audio visual? Do you have PowerPoint? Conventions, very similar. Can you handle our 100 with 10 booths? Can you handle our 1,000 with 100 booths, or 10,000 with 1,000 booths? And events, again, a very similar thing. But when we're talking about incentives, because I skipped over incentives, the first criterion for incentives is destination. And that's where Ho Chi Minh City comes in. As one of the others talked about a little earlier, some of the criteria they also look at is safety. They look at a seamless program, and they look at professionalism. And one of the things, particularly for the incentive market, we must look at is, does it have unique and exotic appeal? One of the things that I had a couple of years ago, I was invited to a similar program, and the first couple of days went swimmingly. We had great dinners, great speeches, everybody talked about the advantages of that particular city, and then the next day, we were to do a city tour, and 60 of us stood outside the hotel, and all of a sudden 2 buses turned up, and we got on the buses, and everybody looked around because they looked like they'd been using a chicken run in Mexico. So we went to our first venue. The first venue was closed. We went to the second venue. The second venue was closed. And we went to lunch. They forgot to make a reservation for 60 people. So no matter how good the presentation is and how good the impressions are when you arrive, unless you have a professional destination management company to hook you through, you've just wasted 60 opportunities. One of the things I also did before I came down here, I spoke to some friends of mine who had done programs in Vietnam and specifically Ho Chi Minh City, and got their impressions. I spoke to some people in Australia and the United States, and I said, look, you've used different destination management companies to the one I use, you've used different hotels to the one I use, what are your impressions? Their impressions were the same as mine. Ho Chi Minh City is exceptionally professional. And the one thing about Ho Chi Minh City is it's unique. It's unique. One of the things that you find in Ho Chi Minh City is the old and the new, the modern and the traditional, motorbikes and Mercedes. It's a very, very unique city. It's the only city that I know of where you can see people walking down the street in their national dress and the person standing next to them is wearing a pair of Levi's and a polo shirt. So it's a unique city in that way. It's one of the few cities that you can actually come across that particular thing. I have to revert notes, unfortunately, now and then. So when we're talking about somebody who is, the gentleman over here has probably got 100 Chevrolet dealers from Arizona, and this gentleman's got 100 bankers from London, and this person's got 100 insurance agents from Australia. They are looking for a program that is absolutely seamless, because they're not only interested in that program running well, they're interested in the next program that they're trying to sell to Vietnam. So the 100 Chevrolet dealers from Arizona, next year maybe the 100 Chevrolet dealers from Colorado, or the 100 Chevrolet insurance companies from Melbourne. So they're looking for the next program. So the one thing that I did get from everybody that I spoke to is that the seamless, professional programs that are run in Ho Chi Minh City are the equal anywhere in the world. They have 5-star hotels here, again, which are the equal of anywhere in the world. Everybody has a 5-star hotel. But it comes to how you're treated when the doorman greets you, how you're treated when you check in. Does the concierge know where the restaurants that you want? Does the concierge know where the Mexican restaurant is, the French restaurant, or the Italian restaurant? It all comes down to the professionalism of not just the destination management company, but the professionalism of everybody that you contact when you're down here. And that's what Ho Chi Minh City does give you. I've had the experience, and many of my friends have had the similar experience. Now, I'm a little bit biased because I've lived in Ho Chi Minh City, and I love the city. I think it's the most exciting city, right now, in my opinion, the most exciting city in the world. And it offers you uniqueness. And it's also the gateway, not only to Vietnam, it's the gateway to Indochina. And the things that we came up with before, stable government, safety, and particularly given the situations that are going around the world today, even your neighbours are having problems right now. So when you're thinking of a country to come to for your program, for your incentive program, for your MICE program, look at it from my standpoint. I felt that this was the ideal MICE destination. I still do, and I always will. Somebody once wrote about Ho Chi Minh City that you learn a lot about Saigon. It's written a long time ago. You learn a lot about Saigon in the first 10 minutes. The rest of it, you want to take a lifetime. For somehow the colours seem brighter, the rain is sweeter, and the people are enchanting. So in summary, Ho Chi Minh City is a timeless and unique city, and the experience of me and my colleagues say that this is the place to bring your next MICE destination. Thank you very much.